As Hackman and Johnson point out, leadership is about how you work with others. This is why I chose to interview Dave. Dave appears to have a knack and know how to work with others, and it wasn't until halfway through the interview that I understood why. Dave has a strong belief in servant leadership, which is a partnership he develops with his followers, Hackman Johnson. I am Terrance Sindelar, student at ASU, taking 2017 Fall Com 430 Session A, and this is my interview of a great leader, Dave, Director of Operations. What I intend to learn from Dave was a greater appreciation and his understanding of why he leads the way he does. In my view, he comes across to have a natural way of getting people to want to listen and work together. While I know this doesn't happen without effort, it will be helpful to get to know Dave, his goals, and what really gets him going in the morning. To paint a clear picture in my mind, I wanted to first start with the history or his history from childhood and move on from there in hopes that this might help me understand Dave. Did he have goals growing up, or was his life seem to happen naturally? In my view, understanding the whys will help me get closer to the hows of his leadership style. It wasn't until my sixth question of Dave that he stated something that really sparked my interest. I asked, in what role were you first successful at building teams? Dave first responded that it was in his recent role, which he strictly followed the golden rule and worked more as a servant leader to gain trust and build teams. As in our reading, Johnson and Hackman point out that servant leaders are those that develop partnerships with followers. In a servant leadership style, leaders serve followers by providing necessary resources and encouragement, empowering followers to complete assignments in the most productive manner, Hackman Johnson. In our reading, gives a more in-depth perception of servant leadership and servant followership in chapter 11 for reference. Dave's first touch of leadership and working with others was during sports in high school, college, where he was voted team captain on several occasions. Thinking back, it was there he learned to put followers first, Hackman Johnson, which is a product of servant leadership. Dave's first true leadership position was when he became an area manager, which is actually the same company that I work for. In the beginning, Dave stated he was intimidated because he was now a leader in a role with followers that had 30 to 40 years of service. How was he going to be able to teach them anything? What Dave did seemed simple enough, but by being consistent, believing in the golden rule, working as a servant leader, Dave was able to build a successful team. Dave simply put some concerns or the concerns of his followers first, Hackman Johnson. He conveyed value of altruism, stewardship, equality, and portrayed a high sense of moral character, Hackman Johnson. Dave also finds value in being confident in his approach. Dave also has a high regard for being truthful and will not sugarcoat dialogue no matter what the situation. Dave explained the reasons behind any discussion or to provide the whys to promote the followers playing full out. In return, Dave stated he would expect the same from the groups towards him. Dave's number one trait is being respectful during all situations, even those where others may be heated or argumentative. In doing so, Dave is less tempted to take advantage of his followers, act inconsistently, or accumulate power over them, Hackman Johnson. Dave wakes up knowing that he has the potential that he can make a difference today and wants to leave a legacy that others talk about him and his accomplishments after he's gone. To date, Dave has built several very successful teams within two major locations he has recently been. Dave's legacy is intact, exactly as he had hoped. Dave does look up to other leaders with great qualities, such as one of our general managers within the company. And personally, knowing that general manager very well, I would say that Dave's leadership qualities are similar to this general manager and that he will continue to be successful.